Hello to everyone and welcome on this YouTube channel. So this is tutorial number 8 of our training on C programming language. Good. Remember that we are under operators, and the first type of operator here is arithmetic operator. So in the previous video, what we did is an example on how to use the modulo operator. Very important. Modulo meaning the remainder of a division. And the exercise that we did was collecting a number from a user, and based on that number we are going to display a message if the number is even or odd. Good. So if you have any problem, make sure you watch the previous video. Now today we are going to continue with the next type of operator. This is what you call assignment operator. Now assignment operator, this one is very easy. Now for the equals to, people know this one already. It's used for affectation. Now if I say a equals to 5, it simply means that to the variable a store 5. So this equals to, this single equals to is helping us to do it. Now you will see things like plus equals to, minus equals to, star equals to, and so on and so forth. So let me just explain that in the code directly. Now, so I'm going to take a small code to explain that. So let me just clean everything here. Or let me just, okay. So step 1, let me declare a variable n. You see, now if I move to the next line, let me initialize n to a value. So let me say n equals to 4. Good. Now what happens if I move to the next line and I write something like n equals to n plus, let me just say plus 1. Okay, semicolon. So what are we doing here? So here, this is my memory here, exactly. So this is n. Now remember that when you declare n, you have something like that empty. Now you say n equals to 4. Good. Now you go again to the next line and say n equals to n plus 1. Remember the meaning of this. This equals to simply means that what you'll be doing here affect that to the value of n. So at this level is, when the compiler will read this level, is going to see n and ask itself that, okay, what's n? Because he needs to know the value of n to carry out this arithmetic operation. And he's going to say that n is 4. So he's going to do 4 plus 1. 4 plus 1 is what? 5. And that 5 is being stored in the variable n. But since the variable n was having 4 at the beginning, we are going to change the value to what? To 5. It simply means that normally after executing this instruction, if I display the value of n, I'm supposed to have 5. Good. So print f, let me just do it very fast. Okay. N here is equals to what? N here is equals to, the variable is coming from the memory, so percentage there, I close here, I just write, the variable is what? Small n. Okay. Now you close. Control S. After saving this, now if I execute my code, look at something. What's happening here is what n is 5. Exactly what we did here. Now, what I want to mention is this instruction that you are seeing here. Another way of writing this instruction is by doing this. Is by saying that n plus equals to 1. Something like this. Very, very important. So let me comment this other line. Good. So let me just explain that very fast. When you see plus equals to simply means what? That the value that you have after the equals to is added to the value stored in the variable n. Meaning that the variable n must have a value. You see? Good. So now you are taking this and you add to what is here. And at the end, that result is being affected back to this variable at the left here. So this is how it works. That's why I'm saying that this instruction here is the same as the one I've commented up here. Good. Just that this one down here is just a shortcut, in fact. Like in French, they say le raccourci. Good. And it's very important to know this shortcut. Why? Because in the exam, you can be seeing this representation. You must understand what it's doing. Good. So you're seeing that if I want to detail this, I'm just going to say n equals to, you write back the n plus 1, and it's explaining exactly what I was saying. You see? Like, good. So you're seeing that you are taking what's on the left, adding to the content of the variable to the right, and at the end, all that is being affected again to n. And this goes the same with subtraction, addition, modulo. In fact, we can do the same thing. Imagine that here you want to do something like follow what I'm doing at the level of this comment part. Imagine that I want to do but n minus 1. You see, n minus 1. It simply means that you can write what? N equals to minus equals to 1. Are we there? Go the same thing. If you want to do n equals to n modulo 1, you just come and say n equals to modulo equals to 1, and so on and so forth. Even for multiplication, it's working the same. So let me just save and execute so that you can see it's the same thing. So let me close this terminal first. because it's very important to practice all this to be sure that it's really working, because some of you are just observing this thing that you don't even practice. Good. So when I execute, you see I'm having the same thing, n is equals to 5. So this is how this thing works. Very important. So let us move back to the note. Good. So this is how it works here. So these are the different examples, and inside my note I'm having a code example here that you can test again at home. Good. The next thing we are going to study is comparison operator, or we call that relational operator. So here no need to practice. The first one is double equals. So generally we are using this inside conditions for comparison. Now here when you see this exclamation mark and equals to, this simply represent not equals to, not. Okay, you see on my table the meaning already there. Good. So make sure you read it. It's very important. Greater than, less than, greater than or equals to, less than or equals to. So it's not in math where greater than or equals to you're writing something like this. No. In computer science, greater than and equals to follows directly. The same thing with less than, equals to, and so on and so forth. So you no need to explain. You know exactly how it works. Good. Now, the next thing I want to mention, which is very important, is that this comparison operator is only working with integers values and characters value. Meaning that if you have a variable of data type string, you see, it's not possible to compare them by doing this. Meaning that it's not possible to do something like this. It's not possible to come and say, if, let us say I'm having a variable called name. I'm going to say if name equals to, I don't know, double quote, maybe if. This is wrong. It's not possible to do such thing. For you to compare string, here we are going to use what we call string function. So that's another topic there. So we'll be doing that in another video. Just know that this is used for integer, good, and character. Now, let me just write it here. Used for integer and character. Why is it that it's working for character? Simply because characters are seen by the computer as integers, you see. So when you write something like let me just say A. This A in reality is having what we call an ASCII representation, which is a value. Just go to the internet and type ASCII representation. You'll be seeing that all the different characters that exist have a corresponding ASCII value, which is an integer. That is why if you compare two characters, there's no problem. Your program is working. But string is no more the same thing. So very important to know that. Please, I hope you have your book with you to note all these things. Now the next thing is incrementation and decrementation. Now I think so we are going to cover this in the next video. So let me just end this video here, and in the next video I'm going to write a small code to practice this thing of increment and decrement operator. So if you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like and leave a comment. Thank you.